Between the 1920s and 1940s, the number of Jews arriving in Palestine grew significantly, with many fleeing persecution in Europe. The Holocaust, which led to the murder of 6 million Jews, intensified the demand for a safe Jewish homeland. By 1947, the Jewish population in Palestine reached around 630,000, making up just over 30% of the total population. Violence between Jews and Arabs escalated, and the British, who controlled Palestine under the Mandate system, decided to withdraw. In 1947, the United Nations voted to partition Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem designated as an international city. This plan was accepted by Jewish leaders but rejected by Arab nations, who argued that it unfairly allocated more land to the Jewish population, despite their smaller numbers. On May 14, 1948, Jewish leaders declared the independence of Israel, hours before British rule officially ended. The next day, armies from 5 Arab nations attacked Israel, marking the start of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. By the time fighting ended in 1949, Israel controlled most of the territory. Egypt occupied the Gaza Strip, Jordan occupied the West Bank and East Jerusalem, and around 750,000 Palestinians were displaced or fled from their homes in what they call the Nakba, or catastrophe. In 1967, the Six-Day War dramatically changed the map of the Middle East. Israel fought against Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, capturing the Sinai Peninsula and Gaza from Egypt, the Golan Heights from Syria and East Jerusalem, and the West Bank from Jordan. This brought about 1 million Palestinians under Israeli control. Israel later returned the Sinai to Egypt under a peace treaty in 1979, but it annexed East Jerusalem and the Golan Heights, moves not recognized by most of the international community. Today, the West Bank is home to roughly 3 million Palestinians. Israel maintains overall control, while the Palestinian Authority governs most towns and cities. Around 700,000 Israelis live in settlements in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, which the international community largely considers illegal. Jerusalem remains a key point of conflict. Israel claims the entire city as its capital, while Palestinians claim East Jerusalem as the capital of a future Palestinian state. The Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, also known as the Temple Mount, is sacred to both Jews and Muslims, making the city a central flashpoint. Gaza, a densely populated area with 2.1 million residents, has faced repeated conflicts between Israel and Hamas. The latest escalation began on the 7th of October, 2023, when Israelis claimed that Hamas launched an attack, killing about 300 Israelis and taking hostages. While no evidence was provided, even international journalists and activists were prohibited from covering the happenings. This led to a massive Israeli military response. Civilian casualties have been tragically high, and the UN has warned of widespread famine and humanitarian disaster. The two-state solution proposes an independent Palestinian state alongside Israel, with East Jerusalem as its capital. While it has broad international support, Israel opposes preconditions for statehood, citing security concerns. The Palestinian Authority supports it, but Hamas opposes Israel's existence. Although it could accept an interim state based on 1967 borders under specific conditions, currently 147 of the UN's 193 member states recognize the state of Palestine, giving it observer status at the UN, while some countries, including the US, only support recognition as part of a long-term political solution. The Israel-Palestine conflict is deeply complex, with historical, political, and religious dimensions. It has left millions displaced, caused repeated wars, and created a persistent humanitarian crisis. Despite numerous peace efforts, including the Oslo Accords of the 1990s, a lasting resolution has not been achieved. Understanding the history of the conflict is crucial to comprehending why it continues and why it remains. One of the most sensitive issues in modern geopolitics